Welcome to a minute or two, or maybe more, with Sharon. My name is Sharon Knowles and I'm your host. We chat around cybersecurity issues, cybercrime, and all things cyber related. Please support the show by following us on your favorite podcast app, or you can support me as a newbie podcaster on PayPal and Patreon. I have put the links in the podcast description. Or just follow me on the podcast platform that you listen to your podcasts. I do appreciate it. Our guest today is Jana Van Rensburg from the social media company Social Media with Jana. We put some cyber questions to Jana, and this is what she had to say. Jana also holds workshops on social media, and we have included her links for you in the podcast description. So let's start with our chat with Jana. Welcome to the show, Jana, and thank you for taking the time. So, our first question is, as a social media expert who manages accounts for clients, what basic cybersecurity measures do you recommend for safeguarding their profiles and information?
When it comes to managing accounts for clients and the basic cybersecurity measures that I recommend, it's definitely the two-step verification that each platform has that you can implement and activate. And then also to download a authenticator app so that each time you log into the different profiles that you can put the unique 6-digit number of the authenticator app into the profile, and in that way you have a two-step verification as well as a authenticator 6-digit that you need to insert each time, and that will protect you from a lot of hackers. At the moment, two-step verification is a really big thing, especially on WhatsApp as well. You really need to have that turned on.
Yes, multi factor authentication is important. So, what steps do you take to verify the authenticity of your clients' social media profiles and protect them from impersonation or fake accounts?
The steps that I would take to verify the authenticity of client social media profiles is definitely to research the profiles, to keep tabs on the profiles, and to Google my clients' accounts so that I can make sure that there's no fake accounts or that they don't get impersonated. It has personally never happened to any of my clients, which I am super happy about. The only incident that I've had was that a client's personal Facebook page was hacked, but because we've got a lot of admins, I usually have 3 or more admins on an account, I was able to delete her as an admin and the people couldn't get into her account. So we stopped it just before it became a big problem.
Can you discuss the importance of strong, unique passwords for each social media account managed on behalf of your clients? And then, how do you ensure password security in your work?
Strong and unique passwords is very important. So, to ensure password security in my work, I use Bitwarden Secure Password Manager. And then I also use, you get different websites to check passwords and to make sure that they are strong enough. And I recommend a 16 character password. Most websites recommend an 8 character password, but I recommend the 16 character password accompanied by capital letters, small letters, as well as numbers. That's definitely, you have to have a mix of different characters in there.
And Jana, how do you handle account access and permissions when working with multiple team members to actually manage clients' social media profiles? What steps do you take to minimize the risk of unauthorized access?
When it comes to different team members working on my clients' accounts, what I do is I use software called Sendable. And within that software, I have access to my various clients, and I can actually post through the software to the social media platforms that I need to. So I don't have the risk of unauthorized access because I don't give full access to my team members. The only access they have is management access, and I still hold the admin access, so I can take them off every time. And also, I need to every single time approve a draft and make sure that everything is set up correctly, because I don't want any information published that is wrong or harmful.
So, what are some common social media scams or misleading practices that you've encountered in your work? How do you help your clients avoid falling for these traps?
Some of the more common social media scams and misleading practices at the moment is definitely people trying to get hold of your WhatsApp account. So, what's happening is people are actually sending messages and saying you've been locked out of your WhatsApp account, click on this link. And when you click on the link and give the people the information that they want, they take over your WhatsApp account and they actually impersonate you. They look at your previous messages and send the same type of messages, and then they start asking people for money. What they do is they start saying, at the hospital, my child is sick. Could you please pay in 1,000 Rand? I'll pay you back later. So, a lot of people show empathy towards that and then will immediately pay the money over, which is then money lost, and the people have all your contacts details. What I've also encountered is fake emails being sent saying your social media accounts have been disabled. Please send us your passwords and ID so that we can enable them again. And then also they clone your account and they take over everything. So that's also a very dangerous scam that's going along. And then you also get your, like they call them, the Tinder swindlers, the people accessing your information and trying to get you to pay money for flight tickets so that they can come visit you and stay in hotels with you, because a lot of people want that connection and want to meet people, and then they fall for it because they are lonely and want someone.
We're chatting to Jana from Social Media with Jana, and we are chatting about social media and cybersecurity. So, Jana, how do you monitor and respond to potential cybersecurity incidents, such as suspicious account activity or unauthorized access on your client's social media accounts?
Every time a client signs into an account, or if they are establishing a new account or setting it up, then I make sure that I get all the notifications. So each time a different browser or device logs into any of my social media accounts, I get a notification and I can either stop it or reply and say, yes, this is me. So that just puts that extra bit of security in for other people not to be able to access it, or other devices, until I let them have access. This is very important, especially if you are a social media manager and your clients don't really know a lot about social media and how to prevent people from accessing their account. You, as a social media manager, have the responsibility to actually have these settings switched on.
When using third party tools or applications to manage social media accounts, what precautions do you take to ensure the security and privacy of your client's data?
When using third party tools or any other applications to work on my client's social media accounts, I take precaution in the security by making sure that I've got two-factor authentication and a authenticator app on each and every account that I use, so that there can be no breach of data. This is very important to me, as I've mentioned before, as the clients trust me with all of their information, and I just don't want it to get out there or lost or held ransom or anything like that for my clients. So I try and be very careful when it comes to any third party tools that I use.
Jana, how do you educate your clients about the importance of cybersecurity in their social media presence? What resources or tips do you provide to actually help them stay safe online?
When it comes to educating my clients on all of the cybersecurity risks that are involved when using social media, I always tell them two-factor authentication needs to be on and that you need a authenticator app. This is the advice I give to all my clients, and I also tell them don't click on any funny links. Don't click on any funny links. That's just a big no. Don't open the email that comes from a weird email address. It's just a big, big no.
We all know in a cyber criminals world that personal data is like gold. So, what measures do you take to protect your client's sensitive information, such as their login credentials and their personal data, when managing their social media accounts?
Protecting any client's information, passwords, login credentials, or any sensitive information is very important to me. So, any passwords I keep in a secure password protected folder, which also needs two-factor authentication. So it's a folder, Microsoft gives you the option to create a folder like that, and it keeps all your personal information, it locks it, and then it doesn't get out to anyone unless you share it or unless you give your two-factor authentication away, which is not advised in any case.
And our last question of the day, Jana. How do you stay informed about the latest cybersecurity trends and threats in the social media landscape? And how do you adapt your practices to protect your clients' accounts accordingly?
Staying informed on the latest cybersecurity trends and threats, especially in the social media landscape, is very important to me. So I keep tabs in all the social media groups that I'm part of, and a lot of people post there every day updates and new trends in cybersecurity practices, new ways that people are trying to get hold of people's accounts. I also read a lot of blogs and listen to a lot of podcasts. Some of my favorite blogs to read is Social Media Examiner. It's mostly about updates about platforms, but every now and then they will let you in on a little secret about what's going on in the industry, which is really cool. So I'm always happy to read more and learn more and even take a few short courses. And then what I also like doing is just reading up about cybersecurity and learning more and talking to people about it. Anyways, that's me, Jana, from Social Media with Jana, and I'm here for any tips and tricks that you might want to know about social media. You can get hold of me by searching Social Media with Jana on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or you can send me a WhatsApp on 072 or you can email me, Jana at socialmediawithjana.co.za. Thank you so much.
And that's a wrap for today, folks. Thanks for joining us. And if you want to make contact with Jana, her details are in the podcast description. Thanks again for tuning in.